Hello, hello. Welcome back to the WOW Podcast, where we are connecting and empowering women through sports. I'm Jade GeNienne.
I'm GeNienne Samuels.
And I'm Stephanie GeNienne.
And I'm going to go ahead and just do a little self-promotion. Please subscribe and write a review if you love our podcast. We love to hear from our listeners. So I'm going to go ahead and just a little self-promotion right there from the top. And we are going to jump right on into it. There are a lot of rumors going on this week. Obviously, what's big here at Redskins Park and in the NFL is the Combine is happening. And there are a lot of speculations happening. We're going to try to touch on a couple of those things. So let's just kick it off and talk about Chase Young not participating. What are your thoughts?
I was upset.
Yeah, I know. We talked about him, and I was just waiting to see so much, that we've been talking about and watching, and so a little let down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was definitely upset about it. I actually normally don't really watch the Combine because I'm like, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like, It matters, especially for those trying to prove themselves. But I was going to watch it this year because I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to see Chase Young in action. I want to see his stats. I want to see what he's able to do out there. And then they announced that he wasn't going to actually participate. He was going to actually wait for Ohio State's pro day. So I was a little let down about it, but I can understand it in a sense. Even though he didn't, end his season as strong, he has the stats, he has the numbers, and I guess he felt like it wasn't necessary for him.
And as we mentioned, he had the cockiness. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? His direct quote was he wants to train to be a football athlete, not a combine athlete, which I'm not going to say is a dig or diss at the other players, but I think it's valid. I mean, he has proven himself. He's a special player. He's a special guy. I think teams are already going to fight for him. They already know what they're getting with him, and he is saving himself for his team.
Well, there is a difference in dance. So your skills and what you can do and the splits and your technique, but then how you perform and how you dance, and it's just completely different. So how he is in the game, his decision making and things like that is not shown in a combine.
Right, definitely. And not only that, but when you think about in anything in life, your mindset and how you view yourself and the stories that you tell yourself about yourself are more important almost than the skills and the technique and what you can bring on the field, because your mind drives everything. And so I think one reason for me, yes, I was disappointed that we didn't get to see him, but the press conference that he had at the Combine on Thursday, he basically said, I am the best player in this draft. He said his tapes are showing it, go watch his tapes. It show yes. Sure. And what I loved was he said that the two most important things for him are hard work and dedication. And he plans to bring those two things to the NFL. So of course I got excited about that, looking at our future with the Redskins and potentially, bringing him on our team. I'm like, yes, that's what we need. Hard work and dedication.
Day in and day out.
Yeah, and that's what Rivera said. He wants to win now. This is not going to be something that, okay, we're going to slowly rebuild and pick up the pieces and, this is a rebuild year. No, he wants to win right now. And having the mentality like a Chase Young, who is saying, I know what I have to offer, I know what I'm bringing to the table, and I'm saving it for the people that deserve it.
And that resonates with the fans, right?
Yeah.
They've made it heard. They're ready, too, for us to win. So here we go.
Yeah, and he's willing to step into any role, any position that we need him to step into. He basically was like, whatever you all ask me to do, I will do. You want me to rush the passer? I can do that. You need me to check the tight ends? I can do that. You need me to play linebacker? I can do that. And I'm like, yes! Love it. So just hearing him and hearing his mindset and verbally expressing it and coming out, I feel like in a very confident manner. It wasn't cocky. It was just matter of fact, I'm the best in the draft. And I love that. And I'm like, okay, we need to grab him
He listened to your vision boards.
He owns it for sure.
He owns it.
Well, of course, another rumor that is circling, and one that I'm intrigued because I'm an Alabama girl, is we might take Tua, apparently. That's been rumored this week. What are our thoughts on the whole Tua?
I mean, competition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and plus we don't want to show our hand. Coach Rivera said that. We're, poker face, not going to show our hand. So we're going to interview and talk to everybody.
Yeah, and I was surprised by it only because I've had Chase Young in my head and have done so much research on him and have gotten so excited about him. But Tua has performed as well. So bringing in, again, that element of competition and basically making everyone out there guess, like not really knowing what to do with their mock drafts, not really knowing what teams are going to do, who they're going to take, and making sure that everyone kind of has this element of surprise about what are the Redskins going to do, because we have the opportunity, because we hold the cards, really having such a high draft pick, to have a lot of different options.
I always joke that the hype around the Combine is kind of like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. They like to tease and the producers like to edit the film to show, oh, he's going to get rid of her, or he's picking this girl.
The soap opera.
But that's kind of what happens with the combine is people have their mock drafts and kind of how they could see different scenarios playing out, and it really gets people like, wait, we just got Dwayne. What are they doing with Tua?
I mean, there's been so many social media posts about like Dwayne Haskins and what are we doing? And did you see the post of him working out that the Redskins put out? I was super impressed. I was like, all right, he's like, I'm showing you all. I'm working my butt off this off season.
And that's the thing is that, and I think we talked about it, I'm sure, before on the podcast, but this is Rivera's team now. You know, he's not worried about the decisions that were made in the past. He's looking at putting the best players on the team to win games. And he's going to look at all options. I mean, it's his team. And you have to be prepared in the draft. We think we know what's going to happen, but until your time is on that clock, you have no idea what other teams are going to do. Granted, there's only one team in front of them, which is good. Hopefully they'll go with Joe Burrow, and then it'll be, ours to have who we want. But he can do whatever he wants. And if interviewing Tua and other quarterbacks in the first round is something that he thinks will not only maybe create a little bit of hype and a little bit of competitive edge and put a fire under Dwayne to get, to really own that position, I'm here for it. You know, I'm here for that friendly competition, and you never know what can happen. And so I'm intrigued by it. I think we need a healthy Tua. I'm a little worried. I think it'll be interesting to see how his pro day goes and when he starts doing his drills when he's released medically. But I'm interested to see how he bounces back.
Well, now, it seems like, to me, like in any situation, professional world, if you're in a top performing company, people want to be a part of your company, want to be a part of that environment. And I think that's what Coach is bringing here. Like we have, players out there that, Redskins are not an afterthought anymore. Like there's this level of excitement, I feel like, where people are literally trying to put their resumes, their tapes, their films in front of us. And that is just a wonderful position to be in.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and then that's another thing Rivera has mentioned. We need to get butts and seats and people in those stands. And the best way to do that is to bring some excitement and some attractiveness to the players that are coming out here. And those big names, just even speculating those big names is huge to have in the same sentence with Redskins for sure.
Right, and finding those players that are in alignment with what he is trying to do. And I think that's why, again, I got excited about Chase Young just talking about hard work and dedication. Because I really feel like if we have those two elements in every single player on our team, and then also the support staff, our coaches, like the cheerleaders, like everybody, if we have and live by those values every single day, then we are going to be a winning team.
Well, the hard work and dedication is already happening here. As you know, I'm here every day at Redskins Park, and it's on. I mean, you see the coaches around, and I mean, the excitement and the hard work, they're here. Lots of, I'm sure, discussions that I'm not privy to, but they're here, and you can just see, the hard work that's happening behind the scenes.
Yep. Get ready, burgundy and gold. Get ready.
I was just say again, it's all speculation. We will not know what's going to happen until our time is on the clock. But personally, I'm excited to see if Chase Young's our guy and to give Dwayne Haskins more than 6 games to prove himself as an NFL quarterback. Speaking of football, what goes great with football?
Beer.
Oh, great.
Yummy.
Well, speaking of beer, we're going to talk a little bit in the next half, not about beer, unfortunately, but talking about how the coronavirus has really got us all in kind of an uproar. And there's a lot of seriousness to happen with that, but just trying to protect yourself and your family. So we'll talk about that next. Looking for great tasting food at a great price? Check out the $3.99 sub of the day at Subway restaurants, featuring different 6-inch subs each day, like turkey breasts on Wednesdays and the Italian B&T on Thursdays. And of course, every sub of the day is prepared on freshly baked bread and topped with your choice of fresh veggies. That's one tasty value. The $3.99 sub of the day at Subway, great food, great price. At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras plus tax, no additional discount or coupons may be applied.
Be sure to stay up to the minute with all Redskins news this offseason. Download the official Washington Redskins mobile app. Geographic and device restrictions apply. Data charges may also apply.
And now some DC travel wisdom. Good things come to those who don't wait for a connecting flight. Dulles offers nonstop flights to 45% more destinations than any airport in the region, so you don't have to wait. The grass is always greener on both sides of the Dulles Access Highway, where you can fly past traffic to the airport. Find out how else you can travel wisely at flydulles.com/wise.
Okay, I know we joked a little bit about the whole corona thing, but unfortunately we see a lot on especially social media now and on media about like the corona company dealing with loss in their sales.
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, there was a survey of like 667 people who drank beer, and sadly 38% thought Corona caused the coronavirus, which is a little silly.
It's silly and it's alarming.
It's alarming and saddening.
Uneducated, yeah.
And saddening.
So I think we need to, just because obviously we know our listenership and just we're all women in our fan base here, but we just want to look out for our listeners, ourselves, and our families out there. So let's talk about the seriousness of what this virus is and kind of what's causing the hysteria.
Right. So it is very serious, which likely is, for those that are educated and know the numbers, it is scary, especially knowing that it is here now in the United States. So just to kind of level set, it did start in China, in a city in China. Unfortunately, there are over 80,000 people infected in China alone, and over 2,900 deaths in China alone. And I think that is why, like, for people that do know those numbers, that's why it is a little bit scary just knowing the impacts that coronavirus has on lives. And even though it started in China, obviously it has spread to 72 different countries and territories. And obviously it is now hitting home right here in the United States. And, you know, it is something to be aware of, but there are some ways that we can protect ourselves, protect our families, and just get ahead of it.
Yes. So, you know, being a mom, I've already gotten emails from their soccer team saying, you know, no more high fives, let's fist pump and elbow pump. And if they're sick, please keep them home. Which to me, I was like, oh, wow, we've already started to get into the activities, not even just school, but activities. So the CDC gave out some tips where, not even tips, but just do's. So they say wash your hands often for 20 seconds with soap and water before eating. Super important. We all know it should be after you go to the bathroom too. And after coughing, sneezing, or blowing your nose, cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue and then throw that in the trash. Don't set it down. Which brings me to flying.
This is so gross. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about this. So do not use that pocket in front of you. Because now that I think about it, there are many people that wipe their nose, blow their nose, and stuff it in that pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to say I have put my phone in that pocket.
Oh, yeah. I put my snacks in that pocket.
Oh, God, snacks. So, yes, stop using that. And wipe down right now the armrest, the seat buckle, all of that stuff. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces using regular household cleaning spray or wipes. Stay home when you're sick. Don't touch your face, particularly your nose, your eyes, or mouth. But really, I saw a fact. We do it 90 times a day almost unknowingly. So they say wearing a mask can help that, but then the CDC says, please, if you're healthy, don't wear a mask because there's a shortage, and those that are sick need the mask. Plus, those taking care of the sick need the mask. Don't come in close contact with people who are sick. If you can help it, travel. Don't travel if you have a fever or a cough. So those are lots of different just things that the CDC is saying. Don't panic, but prepare, right? So I got that from Dr. Rebecca Katz, director of the Center for Global Health Science and Security at Georgetown University. She's saying just don't panic, but prepare. So change habits, shopping patterns, plan ahead, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and things that we should all be doing anyway, but I guess sometimes lose sight of, that these small little actions can really have an impact on your health and your safety and not spreading the disease. Because what's happening here now in the United States, before it was we were really precautious about people flying back home into the United States from other countries. And what we're finding, especially like, for example, in Washington State, is that it's actually community spread. So it's non-travel related.
Right.
So once, you know, a lot of the deaths, you know, are of older people, of course, just because their immune system is already down and things like that. But it's community related now and community spread, which is kind of scary.
It is.
So it doesn't. You don't have to have gone to China to,
No,
you know.
no, not at all.
So with the United States, you know, obviously because this is where we are, just right now over the weekend, over 24 cases came about just over a 2-day period. So right now we have over 100 cases and unfortunately 6 deaths related directly to the virus. And it has spread to about, I think, 15 states now.
Yes.
Closer to home for us, New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. The majority of the cases right now in Washington State, the majority of the deaths, unfortunately, in Washington State. So we obviously send our condolences and prayers to all of those families.
Absolutely. So there's a way, you know, there's a lot of cleaning supplies that are already out of stock, like rubbing alcohol, really hard to find. hand sanitizer. I mean, really hard to find now, too. So there's a way you can make your own hand sanitizer.
Ooh, listen up.
Listen up. So you can use 2/3 cup 99% rubbing alcohol, a 1/3 cup pure aloe vera gel, and 8 to 10 drops essential oil such as lavender, clove, cinnamon, or peppermint, which have additional antiseptic properties. But rubbing alcohol is sold out right now at CVS. I mean, lots of different places. So you know what else you can use instead? Vodka.
I was going to say some
Not
Tito's.
playing. So I know I have that at home.
Oh, yeah.
So I shall be making mine with vodka, telling the kids, just don't drink it.
Just don't drink it.
Don't drink it.
And I know we're trying to make lighthearted and joke about a very serious thing. You know, we just care about all of you and obviously our communities, and we just want to make sure that everyone's prepared and taking care of their families so that we can be our best healthy selves. And we want to see your best healthy self at a lot of our WOW events that are coming up. So let's just jump into those events.
All right. So WOW has this Saturday, March 7th, we are going to be in the Her Story 5K, walking or running, whatever works best.
I will be walking.
Yes, I will be too, with my mom. Super excited. And then my boys are going to run ahead with my roommate. So that should be awesome. She runs a lot, so she can handle that.
That's good.
Not I. And then we also have coming up the contest starting on social media this week. How are you the Redskins' biggest cheerleader? Show us how. And across 4 weeks, we're then going to pick a guest judge for the First Ladies of Football final auditions. So there's our tentatively for April 9th. So we'll pick our winner for WOW between April 1st and 3rd.
All right, awesome. So how do they submit their...
So they're going to show us, it could be a picture maybe of them at a game cheering people on. It could just be them talking about how they're the
elevator
Redskins.
pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Sell yourself.
Yeah, sell yourself.
Make sure you pick me back.
Right. Pick Jade. She's auditioning. So yeah, that's exciting. And then we have other things coming up. You know, our special OTA day for WOW. We'll also have Pilates and yoga in the bubble. So we'll
that's cool.
on mats. That'll be really fun. That's June 21st. So lots of fun things coming up. But immediately the 5K, which Doug Williams' wife, Rhonda Williams, is going to be in it as well, representing us in WOW. Hopefully her 2 daughters. And then she's going to come and talk on the podcast with us this Tuesday afterwards.
Yay. And I just really encourage everyone to participate in these events because actually I did not really get started coming to these events, honestly, until you you came on board. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go support Stephanie. But then once I started attending, I'm like, these women are amazing.
Yes, they really are.
And, you know, we have, players that come support, alumni and current that come to support these events, and just meeting the amazing women, accomplished women, brilliant, intelligent, diehard Redskins fans that we have, and just sharing and learning about their history, their stories, and just being able to connect with our fan base in a very different way that, for example, I'm just not able to do as a cheerleader. And even as the in-game host now, it's such a quick day that you don't really get to connect in this deep way. But these events enable us to be able to do that.
They've been great. I mean, the stories they share with like the vision boarding or like the glow up weekend and the sip and paint that we've done. It's just, they're very just wonderful women that I look forward to meeting more and more and making that village of WOW.
Sign up for FanDuel now and get $5 in total bonus. Just make your first deposit to get started and you'll get an extra $5 in site credit. Go to FanDuel.com/FFT or download the FanDuel app.
Did you know that your Washington Redskins are sponsored by Koch Industries? That's K-O-C-H, Koch. They're 67,000 U.S. employees and make a lot of things that make game day better. Greener turf? Yeah, they make that. Stronger paper products for tailgating? They make that. Oh, and electronic components and TVs and smart devices so you can watch a Redskins victory anywhere? Yeah, Koch makes that too. See all they make for on and off the field at kochmakesthat.com.
And that's going to be a lot more victories this year.
Yes.
Lots to cheer for.
Always good for a side comment.
Okay, we're going to head into overtime where we're going to focus on empowerment and what that means to our WOW women This week, we are going to talk about finding your why and what the why means.
Yes. And so we obviously have been talking a lot about your vision and what you want to accomplish in 2020 and how to figure out what your goals are and making sure that you have those in front of you every single day and writing them down and all of that. It's very important. But the underlying unfortunate theme with people in general is that we just don't accomplish our goals. Mm-hmm. And there's an alarming stat that says, by February, basically, people have pretty much forgotten about their New Year's resolutions. And so we really wanted to dig a little bit into the why behind your goals, because once you really uncover why it is that you want to achieve certain things, then hopefully if those whys are large enough, they're going to drive you to the accomplishment of your goals.
Absolutely.
So we've heard about the why in a couple of different ways. So one, the why could be your purpose, your mission statement, why you exist. So we're not really talking about that why with this podcast, right?
So serious.
Even though that is really important, you need to know your purpose in life because that does help you develop your goals and helps drive you every single day. What we're talking about is more, why is it that is your purpose? Mm-hmm. Why do you have these goals? Right. What is driving you to want to accomplish certain things and want you to succeed? So what is the underlying reason for why you want to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish? And if your why is strong enough, then hopefully it will propel you to stay motivated and keep pushing forward throughout the year to accomplish those goals. So I'm going to explain one why that is not a good why. Okay.
It's probably mine.
So judging.
Yeah, I'm going to be judgy right now. I don't want anyone to do this. So a not good why is your parents want you to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Or your husband or your mate or your friends think that you should do it. And so therefore you're like, okay, I guess then I will go ahead and become a, biologist because my mom and dad want me to. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you have no desire whatsoever for science or taking anything, related.
Too, for me, I think money isn't really all the time the best why. Mm-hmm. I feel like things will come when you're doing what you love and you have found your why, then maybe the money will come. But just to say that I want that paper is, to me,
that's another great example of not a good why.
This paper right here.
And I think a lot of people in the performing arts field, any type of creative field, probably hit this roadblock a lot growing up because your parents, they want the best for you, obviously. And a lot of times they will equate that to financial freedom, financial stability. And unfortunately, it's harder to find that type of stability in the creative arts professions. Yes. So, we are faced with that a lot, just in the sense of, no, you shouldn't do that. But anyway, that's not a good why.
Okay.
Got it. So to really figure out, your why, you just have to ask yourself, pretty much, why do I want to accomplish this? Who is it going to impact the most? And who is most important, or what things are most important in my life to help me, to make me want to drive to accomplish these things? So, and I'm going to ask you all, just heads up, what your whys are for the majority of your goals. So for example, for me personally, it's my friends, my girlfriends, and my nieces and my nephews and my family. So I want to be able, originally I'm thinking it's the why of money. Like, I want to have more money so that I can do the things that I want to do to enable me to go places, to travel. And I'm like, well, why do I want money to do those things? Oh, well, because technically I want to be able to treat my friends and family. I want to be able to take my nieces and nephews on these trips with me. I want to be able to spoil them and do things for them. So at first I thought it was more about the financial side. And then I dug deeper. They always say, ask yourself why 5 times. Well, why that? Why? And then you'll get to the root cause of it. And so the root cause for me is my nieces, my nephews, and my family and friends.
Yeah.
So if you're having trouble figuring out what your why is, if you literally just say, okay, well, why? Well, because I want to make money. Well, why do you want to make money? Well, because I want to be able to go on trips. Well, why do you want to go on trips? Well, because I want to be able to take my nieces and my nephews and help them to experience things outside of Virginia.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, can I say a few wow people's responses, and then that leads into mine?
Yes.
Okay.
She's stalling, guys. She's stalling.
Please stall.
So Barbara Beach responded and said that hers is being the best version of me.
Love it.
And then Chris Bryant, one of the hog farmers, said,
the farmers.
I know, these women are my why. And it was an adorable photo of his daughters. And he said, they are the motivation for me to be the best person I can be. So kind of like what you were saying. And then this one, Sharon Hextall, this resonated and is, I think, my why as well. But she said, my why is my ancestors made it possible for me to do and be the woman I am. So I have to pay it forward to the generation behind me and the people in need beside me. We must return to the mentality that it takes a village.
Yes,
And so,
legacy.
for me, I
Yes.
think, yes, at first mine was like, my boys, that's my why. But really, no, it's them to understand that there's a greater village around them and to create that village and to better all of those around us, you know, to lift one another up, to teach them how to lift other people up, to create that village and pay it forward next to you, all of that.
Yeah, and that is so you for sure. Oh my gosh. And it wasn't just, you know, definitely in dance. I saw that, but now even that you're moving, you had, you know, Capital Movement. I see it there with WOW and all of these events.
Yeah.
Like we see it there. So that is, I agree. You got that right. Correct.
Thank you.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, Jade.
Oh gosh. I'm going to agree with Barbara. So we're going to keep stealing our listeners'
Yes,
response.
yes.
So
Good
please
job, Barbara.
keep sending those answers in so we can piggyback. But I definitely think that my why originally comes from this internal, not competition, but battle to continue to evolve and to compete and to continue to be the best version of myself. And that's why I take on so many things. But if you ask the 5 whys and you dig down deeper into that and peel the layers, I think it's because, you know, I grew up in a very small town on the Eastern Shore, where not a lot of people, unfortunately, go over the bridge or go away to school or just maybe weren't fortunate enough to have the opportunities that my parents gave me to see the bigger world and to know that I could be limitless as far as my dreams if I worked really hard. So I think to peel the layers back is my why comes from coming from a small town and wanting to take it all on and to show people that, you know, might not think that they can, you know, live in this big dream, that it is attainable with a lot of hard work. So I think that's kind of where my why comes from, to show that to my family and to kind of the same lines as you. So I have a lot of whys.
But that's you being that leader in the community. You're a leader on the cheerleading team. You're a leader at your job. You're a leader at your hometown to show a young girl or boy that there's more outside of here. And if what you want is in here, fantastic. But the opportunities are there.
And I talk about this a lot, but, you know, I have an adopted sister who came from a darker beginning or a rough past. And I want to be able to show her that it does not matter where you come from. It matters the character and the integrity that you have and the work that you put in. And that if you really peel it down, that's probably my drive every day is I've never been a big sister. So to take that role on in the last, 8 years, that's been something that has changed my why over the time.
Yeah, that's so interesting because if you didn't get to that, I was going to ask you the whys because you talk about your sister a lot.
Yeah.
And I know that she's really important to you. And I feel like that's, one of your underlying whys as well.
Absolutely.
So, and this is a very enlightening process to go through because what you think is driving you, if you just ask the 5 whys, it will really help you to understand what is truly driving you. And if you keep that in your focus, in your mind, and remember that, like put that picture on your vision board, have that picture in front of you every single day, then when you don't feel like it, when you just want to snooze, when you just want to watch TV, when you just want to do nothing, having that mental picture will help you to continue to push forward so that you're not in those stats of not completing anything and forgetting about your goals by February. Because we really want to drive some, empowered, accomplished women that live in their purpose every single day. And that's what this podcast is about, making sure that you don't forget your why. And if you keep it in the forefront of your mind, then you will be able to propel forward and accomplish those goals.
Yeah, and we challenge you to take on that touchdown goal and to ask ask why 5 times, because I had 3 different whys in the last 2 minutes of talking about it. So definitely take on that little homework. With that, we are going to, unfortunately, it's been a good one, but wrap up overtime. And let's talk about who we have ahead on the WOW.
Yay.
Got some good ones.
Exciting. So we have Coach Jennifer King. Came to fruition. She
Yes,
put it out there.
I put it in the universe.
So March 24th, she will be on the WOW
Yay.
podcast.
Awesome.
So excited.
Yes. And then April 7th, we will have Miss Stephanie Rivera, Coach Rivera's wife, who
so excited.
was a coach on her own. Looking forward to talking to her about the female athlete and her thoughts and how much she really helps coach with those coaching decisions.
Yeah, and so we'll be sure to put in our stories and maybe even some post questions that you all have for them, because it would be really interesting to kind of see what's on your mind and what questions you have, and then we'll try to incorporate that into the interviews.
And even for Rhonda Williams, Doug Williams' wife.
Yes.
She's coming Tuesday, so if you have any questions for her, that'd be wonderful. And then, again, don't forget to be a part of our social media campaign in order to be a guest judge for the First Ladies. So, ladies, let's support these ladies who are going through, oh my gosh, one of the toughest auditions ever. And the big thing that we try to do is support each other through that whole audition. So I think it would be good to have, you know, someone from WOW there helping and
women
being a part of
empowering
it.
women, for sure. For sure. All right. And I'll just end on a note. Like we said, we're going to put a lot of stuff on our social media, so make sure you're following all those accounts. I'm going to self-promote one more time. Please like, subscribe, write a review if you like the WOW podcast. We love to hear from each and every one of you. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
I'm Daryl Green. I retired from football in 2004, but I'm still active in business. I'm a founding board member of Main Street Bank, a local community bank meeting the needs of businesses like yours. I'm speaking now to the most football knowledgeable, faithful, most caring folks in the world, the Redskins faithful fans. I'd like to ask you to consider banking with my bank, Main Street Bank. Trust me, you'll get high-tech products and personal service. Go to mstreetbank.com and tell them old number 28 sent you.
Main Street Bank, member FDIC.
Dear customer service, I can always count on Novak. My power is always on, my payments always go through, and Novak actually cares about the community they serve.
Dear Novak, your electric costs are reasonable. Some electricity is from alternative sources, and cost reductions are passed along during the year. Thanks.
Novak, power you can count on.
Are uninvited pests ruining your plans? Let PMSI, the pest control partner of the Washington Redskins, handle it for you. Call today for your free inspection, and they'll work around your schedule to provide you the best solution possible to defend your home territory against pests of all kinds, including mold. Visit mypmsi.com for the game plan to control the pests on your home turf. That's mypmsi.com.
At Coke, our 67,000 U.S. employees make things that make your game days better, like fertilizer for greener turf and stronger paper products for tailgating. Viewing the game from your couch? Coke also makes the electronic components in TVs and smart devices so you can watch your Redskins victory anywhere. Coke, we make that. See it all at KOCHmakesthat.com. That's CokeMakesThat.com.